The galaxy had long forgotten the third planet of a yellow dwarf star, buried deep within an unremarkable sector of the Orion Arm. Its name was a mere whisper in the annals of alien archives, a curiosity from a time before recorded history began. Earth was dismissed as an ancient ruin, a planet ravaged by natural disasters and its own inhabitants, left barren and irrelevant to the galaxy's thriving civilizations. But something stirred, something ancient, powerful, and utterly unexpected. The Zecthar expedition ship Coral was the first to detect the anomaly. Captain Vree stared at the holographic readouts, his 6 eyes narrowing in disbelief. The sensors, calibrated to scan for dormant energy sources on lifeless planets, were blaring with an intensity he'd never seen before. The readings indicated not one, but thousands of energy spikes, each one powerful enough to rival the core reactors of the Zecthar Empire's dreadnoughts. Impossible, Vree muttered, mandibles clicking in agitation. This system is classified as dead. There shouldn't be anything here. The crew, equally puzzled, worked furiously to analyze the data. The source of the signals was unmistakable: Earth. Long thought to be a wasteland incapable of supporting life, it now pulsed with activity that defied reason. Structures buried deep within the planet's crust were coming online, emitting complex energy signatures and broadcasting signals in languages no translator could decipher. As the Coral descended into orbit, the crew was greeted by a sight that left them speechless. The surface of the planet was scarred and overgrown, a testament to millennia of neglect. Yet, amidst the decay, massive structures of gleaming black and silver emerged, rising from beneath the soil. Towers that seemed to pierce the heavens activated in unison, sending cascading waves of light into the atmosphere. Vree ordered a probe to be deployed. It barely had time to transmit its data before it was obliterated by a beam of pure energy from one of the towers. The captain cursed under his breath, his claws clenching the command rail. They're armed. But with what and why now? The question was answered moments later when the Coral intercepted a transmission. It was a deep, resonating voice, mechanical yet hauntingly human. Identify yourselves. State your purpose in Earth's orbit. The ship's AI struggled to parse the ancient dialect, but the meaning was clear. Vree hesitated, then responded. This is Captain Vree of the Zecthar Empire. We are explorers, here to study the ruins of this world. We mean no harm. There was a pause, heavy with tension, before the voice replied. Explorers. Curious. You are the first to arrive in 500,000 years. Stand by for assessment. Before Vree could respond, a beam of light enveloped the Coral, scanning it with an intensity that sent shudders through the ship's hull. Systems flickered, and for a moment, the crew feared they would be dismantled atom by atom. But then, just as abruptly as it began, the light vanished. You are not a threat, the voice declared. You may observe. But understand this. Earth is under the protection of the Legacy Fleet. Interference will not be tolerated. Legacy Fleet. The term sent shivers down Vree's spine. The Zecthar Empire prided itself on having the most formidable navy in the galaxy, yet the power on display here dwarfed anything he had ever encountered. He ordered the Coral to maintain a cautious distance while gathering data on the planet below. What they discovered defied comprehension. The energy signatures came from colossal subterranean complexes, their designs unlike anything the Zecthar or any known species had ever constructed. These were not ruins but fully operational facilities, seemingly maintained by autonomous systems that had been active for millennia. More alarming were the ships. Hundreds of them, sleek and angular, lay dormant beneath the planet's surface, their hulls glimmering with an otherworldly energy that seemed almost alive. Reports began flooding in from other expeditions. Earth was no isolated anomaly. Across its solar system, similar signs of reactivation were detected. A massive station hidden within the asteroid belt, another beneath the frozen crust of Europa, and an armada of ships in a stable orbit around Neptune's distant moons. The galactic community was thrown into chaos. Fleets were scrambled, alliances formed, and centuries-old rivalries temporarily set aside in the face of this emerging mystery. Every power wanted answers, but none dared approach Earth directly. The Legacy Fleet's warning was clear. They were awake, and they were watching. Then came the broadcasts. They began as faint signals, barely detectable, but rapidly grew stronger. In every corner of the galaxy, screens and comm systems displayed the same message. The protectors of Earth have returned. Stand down or face annihilation. The galaxy teetered on the edge of panic. Who were these protectors? What had awakened them after so long? And, most chillingly, what had they been built to protect Earth from? The Zekther Empire sent a delegation to Earth, their ships laden with gifts and pleas for diplomacy. But as their fleet entered Earth's orbit, they were met by a single ship from the Legacy Fleet. It dwarfed even the largest Zekther dreadnoughts, its black hull etched with glowing lines of energy that pulsed like a heartbeat. A voice emanated from the massive vessel, calm yet commanding. "Leave this system. The Earth does not negotiate." The Zekther commander, unwilling to retreat without answers, ordered a warning shot. The response was immediate. In a flash of light, the entire Zekther fleet was neutralized, not destroyed but immobilized, their systems completely disabled. The Legacy ship remained unmoved, its message unmistakable. Earth's protectors would not tolerate defiance. Word of the encounter spread quickly, and the galaxy was forced to accept a hard truth. Earth, the long-forgotten cradle of humanity, was no longer a relic of the past. It was a sleeping giant, its guardians more advanced and enigmatic than anything the galaxy had ever known. As Vri and his crew watched from the safety of their orbit, they couldn't help but wonder. What had happened to humanity? Had they truly vanished? Or were they simply waiting for the right moment to return? And if the Legacy Fleet was their creation, what kind of beings must they have been to leave behind such a force? The galaxy braced itself for the answers, knowing that whatever came next would change everything. The galaxy teetered on the edge of its collective seat, every faction watching Earth with a mix of awe, fear, and curiosity. In the weeks following the Zekther fleet's neutralization, no further signals were broadcast from the Legacy Fleet. The armada beneath Earth's surface remained dormant, save for the occasional ripple of energy that hinted at their readiness. The galactic powers, desperate to understand what they faced, convened a summit on the neutral moon of Cryon V. Representatives from the greatest empires, the Zekther, the Ulinxi Coalition, the Shavran Dominion, and even the elusive Kulvathi, gathered in a massive crystalline hall. For the first time in centuries, the warring factions set aside their differences. The stakes were too high. "We face an unknown force," rumbled High Speaker Tarn of the Ulinxi, his gelatinous form quivering with intensity. "One that has remained hidden for 500,000 cycles. If we cannot decipher their intentions, our existence may be at risk." Ambassador Scala of the Shavran Dominion, her reptilian eyes narrowing, leaned forward. Decipher their intentions? They have already declared them. Earth is under their protection, and any intrusion will be met with overwhelming force. The real question is not their purpose, but whether we should challenge them or submit. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices. Accusations flew, fears were voiced, and alliances were threatened. It was the Kulvathi envoy, a being of shimmering light and shadows, who finally brought silence with a single statement. Humans were not a warlike species by nature. The Kulvathi whispered, their voice echoing in the minds of all present. Their history was one of contradiction, creators of beauty and horror alike. If the Legacy Fleet remains, it is because they believe the galaxy required its presence. We must discover why. As the summit deliberated, the Legacy Fleet acted. Across the galaxy, dormant human outposts hidden on uninhabited worlds began to awaken. Automated factories roared to life, producing ships, drones, and weapons of unknown design. These outposts broadcasted no signals, made no threats, but their activation sent a clear message. Humanity's reach had never truly ended. In the farthest reaches of the galaxy, a Shavran exploration vessel stumbled upon one of these outposts. It was located on a barren moon orbiting a dying star, its surface marked with massive trenches and towers that pulsed with blue light. The Shavran crew cautiously approached, their scanners working overtime. Suddenly, the outpost transmitted a signal directly to their ship. Unlike the cryptic messages from Earth, this was clear and comprehensible. Stand by for genetic confirmation. The crew, bewildered, attempted to respond. But before they could, a beam of light scanned their vessel. Moments later, the signal changed. Access denied. Non-human presence detected. Depart immediately. As the Shavern scrambled to retreat, the outpost unleashed a pulse of energy that disabled their engines. A massive structure emerged from the moon's surface, resembling a fortress of ancient design. The Shavern ship, helpless, was pulled into a hangar by an invisible force. Inside, the crew was greeted by humanoid machines, their forms sleek and terrifyingly precise. The machines spoke in unison, their voices echoing with a chilling harmony. "You are not of Earth. Why have you come?" The Shavern captain, quaking with fear, managed to stammer, We seek to understand your purpose. Why have you reawakened after so long?" The machines paused, as if considering the question. Finally, they responded. "Humanity entrusted us with a mission, to protect their legacy, to safeguard the galaxy from the darkness that lies beyond. That time has come." The Shavern crew was released, their ship repaired and enhanced with technology they could barely comprehend. When they returned to the Dominion, they carried a warning. The Legacy fleet was not merely a defense force. It was a bulwark against an impending threat. The summit reconvened in panic. What was this darkness the machines spoke of? Was it an external force, or was it something buried within the galaxy itself? Theories abounded, but answers remained elusive. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Legacy fleet continued to prepare. Towers and fortresses rose from the ground, their surfaces etched with symbols that no living being could decipher. Deep within one of these fortresses, a single cryopod hissed as it unlocked. A figure stepped out, clad in an armor that gleamed like starlight. Their eyes, burning with an unnatural intensity, scanned the room before focusing on a console. With a voice both commanding and ancient, they spoke. "Begin Phase 2. The galaxy must remember what it means to face the wrath of humanity." The galaxy watched as Earth's influence grew. Ships of impossible design appeared in orbit around key systems, silent sentinels that offered no explanation. Alliances strained under the pressure, with some factions arguing for resistance and others advocating submission. Yet even as fear spread, a strange sense of hope emerged. If the Legacy fleet was humanity's answer to a forgotten threat, perhaps it was not the galaxy they sought to dominate but to save. As the first tendrils of darkness began to stir in the void between galaxies, the truth became undeniable. Whatever was coming, it was something even the Legacy fleet feared. And in that fear lay humanity's greatest gamble. Would they be saviors, or would their return mark the galaxy's end? The stars held their breath as the stage was set for a conflict that would define the cosmos. The galaxy trembled as the first signs of the unknown darkness emerged. It began at the outermost fringes, in the barren, cold systems beyond the reach of the galactic community. There, isolated colonies and mining stations began to go silent. Ships sent to investigate disappeared without a trace. The Zekther Empire, ever prideful and unwilling to acknowledge fear, dispatched a fleet to one of these dark zones. Admiral Kalrek, a veteran of countless battles, led the mission. His fleet comprised some of the most advanced warships in the Empire, each bristling with weapons capable of reducing planets to ash. When the fleet arrived, they found nothing but an eerie silence. The stars seemed dimmer, the void heavier. Scanners revealed faint energy signatures, but the source eluded them. It was as if something was watching, waiting. Without warning, the darkness struck. Shadows coalesced into tangible forms, massive and twisted, defying known physics. They moved like predators, tearing through shields and hulls with effortless precision. Kalrek's fleet fought valiantly, but their weapons seemed to have no effect. One by one, the ships were consumed, their crews lost to an enemy they could not comprehend. Only one vessel escaped, its captain babbling incoherently about creatures made of nightmares, about whispers that invaded the mind. The darkness, it seemed, was not a singular entity but an amalgamation, a swarm of something ancient and malevolent. The galaxy erupted into chaos. The surviving captain's testimony spread like wildfire, and panic gripped the great civilizations. The Zekther Empire, humiliated by its defeat, declared a state of emergency. The Shavern Dominion fortified its borders, and the Ulinxi coalition began evacuating its outer colonies. Amid the turmoil, the Legacy fleet acted with cold precision. Their ships moved beyond Earth's orbit, spreading throughout the solar system and into the void beyond. Their presence was methodical, their intentions opaque. They established sentry posts on forgotten worlds and reactivated ancient satellites, each a node in an intricate web of defense. One such sentry station, buried within the asteroid belt, began broadcasting a signal that echoed across the galaxy. It was not a warning, nor a threat, but a call. To all who hear this, humanity's legacy has awakened. The darkness that comes for us threatens you all. Stand with us or stand aside. The signal sent shockwaves through the galactic community. For centuries, humanity had been dismissed as a relic, a ghost of a forgotten time. Now, it was clear they had prepared for a cataclysm the galaxy had yet to fathom. But could the Legacy fleet be trusted? The Kulvathi, enigmatic as ever, responded first. Their envoy, a being of shimmering light, transmitted a reply to the signal. We will stand with you, not out of fear, but because we, too, have seen the darkness in the void. It is older than your kind and ours. It will consume all, unless we stand united. Other factions hesitated. The Zekther, still nursing their wounded pride, debated whether to ally with the Legacy fleet or risk facing the darkness alone. The Shavern Dominion, ever calculating, dispatched spies to monitor Earth's movements, seeking any advantage. On Earth, deep beneath the surface, the awakening continued. In a vast underground chamber, rows of cryopods began to unlock. From them emerged figures clad in sleek, adaptive armor. They were human, yet something more, enhanced by millennia of genetic refinement and technological augmentation. These were not soldiers but guardians, their minds honed for war and strategy, their loyalty unwavering. The first among them, a woman named Lyra Kane, stepped forward. Her gaze was steely, her voice calm. Status report, she commanded, and a nearby console lit up, displaying a galaxy-wide map. The AI overseeing the facility, a construct named Archon, responded. The darkness has begun its advance. Peripheral systems are falling. Initial projections estimate a 32% chance of galactic collapse within the next standard decade without intervention. Lyra's jaw tightened. And with intervention? Probability of success increases to 78%, assuming cooperation from major factions. The Legacy fleet is operational, but time is of the essence. Lyra turned to the others, awakening around her. Then we move now. Humanity left us this mission for a reason. We won't fail. As Earth's forces expanded into the galaxy, their actions became impossible to ignore. Legacy ships began appearing in systems threatened by the darkness, striking with surgical precision. They deployed weapons that defied understanding, gravitational implosions, energy fields that warped space, and drones that seemed to think and adapt like living beings. The darkness fought back, relentless and cunning. It tested the Legacy fleet's limits, exploiting weaknesses, adapting to their strategies. Battles raged in the cold expanse of space, each clash a testament to humanity's resilience and the terror of the unknown enemy. Yet, for all their power, the Legacy fleet could not stand alone. The Kulvathi joined them first, their advanced understanding of energy fields proving invaluable. Slowly, others followed. The Ulinxi contributed their formidable engineers, while the Shavern, despite their distrust, offered intelligence gleaned from centuries of espionage. The turning point came at the Battle of Callus Rift, a choke point where the darkness sought to breach the galactic core. The combined forces of the Legacy fleet and their allies held the line, their unity a fragile but unyielding barrier against annihilation. As the battle reached its crescendo, Lyra Kane led a strike team deep into the heart of the darkness. Their mission, to uncover its source and destroy it, no matter the cost. What they found was beyond imagination, a living construct of immense scale, pulsing with malevolent energy. It spoke, not in words, but in thoughts that invaded their minds. We are the void. We are the end. You cannot stop us. You can only delay the inevitable. Lyra, undeterred, activated a device long hidden in Earth's archives, a relic of humanity's forgotten past. As it unleashed a blinding surge of energy, the void writhed and screamed, its form unraveling. The battle was won, but the cost was staggering. The void retreated, weakened but not defeated, leaving the galaxy to rebuild. The legacy fleet, battered but resolute, vowed to stand watch, for they knew the void would return. And as the stars settled once more, the galaxy whispered a name it would never forget. Earth, the cradle of humanity and the shield against the darkness. The galaxy did not rest in the aftermath of the Battle of Callus Rift. While the legacy fleet and its allies had secured a hard-fought victory, the remnants of the void lingered in the darker corners of the universe, silent but menacing. The galaxy had bought time, but the threat was far from eliminated. Earth, once dismissed as a forgotten relic, had become the focal point of galactic unity. The legacy fleet, its numbers diminished but its resolve unbroken, continued its preparations for the inevitable resurgence of the void. Across countless systems, the awakening of ancient human outposts persisted. These bastions of advanced technology became hubs of innovation and cooperation, drawing scientists, engineers, and warriors from every corner of the galaxy. Lyra Kane, hailed as the architect of unity, carried the weight of humanity's mission with stoic determination. As she recovered from the strain of wielding Earth's ancient relic during the battle, she began formulating a plan, a final solution to the void. Humanity's legacy had been designed for war, but Lyra believed its greatest strength lay in its capacity for creation. In the depths of Earth's reactivated command centers, Lyra and her team worked tirelessly. The brightest minds from allied species joined them, their combined knowledge forming a plan as audacious as it was desperate. The answer was not annihilation but containment, a vast construct, a prison for the void, built from the combined resources of the galaxy and powered by the enigmatic technologies of the legacy fleet. The construct, named Eterna Nexus, would be a massive ring world surrounding a black hole at the edge of the galaxy. The black hole's gravity would act as the ultimate seal, drawing in and trapping the void's essence for all eternity. However, the project required immense coordination and an almost impossible degree of precision. The construction of the Nexus spanned years. Vast fleets ferried resources, while armies of engineers labored under the constant threat of void incursions. The void, though weakened, remained a cunning and relentless adversary. Its forces struck at critical moments, testing the resolve of the allied galaxy. Each battle was a grim reminder of the stakes, but it also strengthened the bonds between once fractured civilizations. As the Nexus neared completion, the Void launched its most devastating assault yet. Emerging from the void between galaxies, its forces swarmed the Nexus construction site, determined to prevent their imprisonment. The Allied fleet, led by Lyra Kane aboard the legacy flagship Eternal Vigil, stood as the last line of defense. The battle was apocalyptic. The Void's constructs, vast and twisted, clashed with the sleek, deadly precision of the legacy fleet. Every weapon humanity had created over millennia was unleashed, from gravitational warheads to nanite swarms that devoured enemy vessels. The Allied fleet fought valiantly, their unity forged in fire and desperation. In the heart of the chaos, Lyra Kane led a strike team to deliver the final component of the Nexus, a core device imbued with the same ancient energy that had driven the Void to retreat at Callus Rift. The device, once activated, would seal the Void within the Nexus forever. The mission was perilous. The Void's forces converged on the core deployment site, their very presence a physical and mental assault. Lyra and her team pressed forward, battling not only the Void's constructs but also the haunting whispers that sought to break their resolve. As Lyra reached the core's activation chamber, she faced a final manifestation of the Void, a towering, shadowy figure that seemed to pulse with the fears of countless civilizations. It spoke directly into her mind, its voice a cacophony of despair. "You think you can contain us? We are entropy. We are the end. This prison will fail, as all things do. Your efforts are meaningless." Lyra gritted her teeth, her voice steady despite the weight of the Void's presence. "Maybe. But if there's one thing humanity has taught this galaxy, it's that we don't give up. We endure. And so will they. With a final surge of effort, she activated the core. The chamber flooded with blinding light as the device unleashed a wave of energy that rippled across the nexus. The black hole roared to life, its immense gravity pulling the void's essence into its depths. The construct shimmered as it sealed shut, its surface glowing with the combined technologies of humanity and its allies. The void screamed, a sound that echoed not in the ears, but in the very souls of those who fought. And then, silence. The battle ended as abruptly as it had begun. The void was contained. The galaxy exhaled a collective sigh of relief, though the cost had been staggering. Ships lay in ruins, and countless lives had been lost. Yet, amidst the devastation, a new hope emerged. The alliance forged in the fires of war did not crumble. Instead, it solidified, a testament to what the galaxy could achieve when united. Earth, once a forgotten world, became the beacon of this new era. The Legacy Fleet, its mission fulfilled, did not disband but transitioned into a guiding force, protecting and nurturing the fragile peace. Lyra Kane, though forever marked by the battle, returned to Earth. Standing beneath the stars, she reflected on the journey that had brought humanity from obscurity to the saviors of the galaxy. The Nexus remained as both a warning and a monument, a reminder of the darkness that lurked in the void and the light that could overcome it. As the galaxy began to heal, the words of an old Earth saying echoed across the stars. The night is darkest before the dawn. And for the first time in millennia, the galaxy believed in the promise of that dawn.